how does that happen on the behind the scene of the money side of developers?
We don't make any money until we hand over the complete project. We can't even make 100% profit in our business. We make sure we deliver the consistency of the quality. We make sure it's a location that's more beneficial for the client than us. Not
More
very-
comfortable
more
for
comfortable,
the users.
yes.
You get your final amounts only at the end of the reality, right? But maybe as a buyer, I'm not aware. What are my rights during this period? How can you actually achieve that as an early milestone, or how is that happening?
You wake up very early in the morning and you make sure you're at work and you
Yes.
make sure your staff are following the policies you have set for them. People will only buy from people who they like.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Bilna Sandeep Show. Today, I want to start the show a little bit differently. Recently, one of our PR friends told us that while they were searching for the best construction and real estate podcast in UAE, ours came up on top of Perplexity or any of the AI tools as the most suggested one, which makes us very happy, excited, and we were on cloud. The whole team was on cloud nine. And what I would say is it is all because of all your support, all your listener support is what made us strong. And we are so happy to always hear your feedback. And I want to start with a little request to all of you. I know a lot of you watch our shows, but probably you haven't yet subscribed. So that's the first request I have. And a lot of you always message us with your takeaways from a lot of our episodes. So if you're somebody who's watched at least one of our episodes, and if you have sent me message about those episodes, I would really love it. Myself and our team would really love it if you can leave some of those as comments in those episodes as well, because that's what actually helps us grow and bring more amazing guests on our show. Now I would dive straight into today's session. Today I'm speaking with Mr. Haider Abduljabbar, who is an executive director at TownX Real Estate Developers. And he has overseen a huge number of properties and projects in his lifetime as an expert in the industry. And personally, in TownX, he has crossed over 1.5 billion in sales. That's quite an amazing number. But what interests me the most is more than the sales, I want to take all of you on the behind the scenes of how developers operate and how all these amazing projects are getting delivered in Dubai. And Dubai is a place that everybody is looking forward to from the whole world perspective. And each developer in Dubai plays a huge role in creating this new ecosystem in Dubai, and which is why Dubai itself has become a brand to the world. So thank you so much, Mr. Haider, for being on our show. Thank you. So let me dive directly in, okay? So when most buyers are buying a property, especially when it comes to off-plan, right? Like, what is that actually is going behind the scene in terms of funding, or, how does that happen on the behind the scene of the money side of developers? What's happening there?
We have many stages to take before putting the property in the market, and every developer has his own strategy of launching the project. What we normally do is we buy the land right out, and then we register the project. We start construction, and then when we reach 20% plus into the construction update, then we launch the project.
So it's once it's reached 20%, that is it a buy low, or is that the strategy each developer has?
That's the strategy we take in order for us to give buyers more confident that you investing into a property that's already been built.
That is actually there.
And you're not investing into a piece of land which is sand, and maybe it will stay sand a year and 2 years later and the construction hasn't started.
Yes.
Or maybe even investing into, let's say, a project which hasn't even been registered.
Yeah.
So that way it gives lots of confidence to the
buyers.
To the buyers that the land has been purchased, the project has started, and there is a construction update 20% plus. Then we get them to invest in. So before that, you can imagine how much money we have
Yeah,
to.
when you have to go till 20% construction, that's a huge investment
Huge
upfront for
investment,
the
yeah,
developer.
buying the land, starting the construction design, and then the launch, the price, getting the sale team to, let's say, put the
Start
project in the
selling.
market. So it's a lot of money before even starting.
Yes.
And then when you ask the buyer to pay 20% deposit, they don't know what we have gone through
Yes.
for us to give them the opportunity to buy this property with TownX, and how much work that has been done behind the scene. But there's lots and lots of work
Lots of that goes
has to
on
be
behind
done
the
before.
scene. I think as buyers, like the normal buyer is not seeing the behind the scene of it, right? That this is the huge amount that's already gone into the project. Now, just a curious question, like as a developer, at what stage of these projects does, as a company, do you make money from that project?
Really, we don't make any money until we hand over the complete project to the
Okay.
buyers, because we are very uh, compliant to the law by using escrow account, and
Yes.
we only take money to escrow account. So escrow account, you're not allowed to redraw any money out unless it's for construction.
Okay.
So
It's like milestone payments you receive from the bank for that.
we receive from the buyers to
Okay.
pay our account, and then from our account to our construction company.
So
And
when a buyer is buying, the money actually goes to the escrow, and from the
absolutely.
escrow is at
Go.
milestones, it is getting released into your
Absolutely,
account.
absolutely. So the only time we're allowed to take money out from the account is if we have reached a good number of sales,
Okay.
and we have achieved minimum 75% plus in construction update, which is
Okay.
pretty much near
Yes.
enough the handover, and we have enough money to finish the construction of whatever the percentage left,
Okay.
plus the DLP, which is the extra money
1 year
that
after the
1 year, yeah. So we have to
handover.
leave at least 10% of the construction cost in an escrow account for any DLP, any warranty and liabilities, and then we can
That's
take that
nice.
money 1 year later if everything is fine. So really and truly, we don't really see any profit until the project is finished.
In fact, until the DLP is done properly, yeah?
Until the DLP is done to get the final,
The
the final
whatever
profit.
you were
Yes,
expecting
yes. So
from.
so,
Okay,
so
it's at the
majority,
handover stage,
yeah.
most of it. And like as a developer, how much percentage of it do you actually sell out before the handover as an off plan? And how much happens after handover?
So we have a different way of working slightly to other developers in UAE. We don't support selling the full projects right out from the beginning. We
Okay.
only sell just about enough what we need to build with,
Okay.
because we've realized that we have seen people make more money than we do in the industry by buying properties with us.
Yes.
Just to give you an example, if they invest into let's say, a one bedroom, and they buy it, just as an example, for 1 million dirhams, so they would pay us 50% during construction and 50% on handover.
Okay.
And then by the time they get their properties, it's immediately worth 1.5 million. So they just
It's
made
already
100%
appreciated.
profit on the
Whatever
50%
they
they
had
paid. Yeah.
Okay.
So we can't even make 100% profit in our business.
Yes.
So we have realized that it's best to keep some units and
Okay.
sell them
Once
at the end.
appreciation has also happened.
And then we can give also agents in the market and agencies to do secondary, because
Okay.
it will be
Yes.
pretty much ready property to move in. So then we have two teams working for ready properties
off-plan
and for
ready
off plan as well.
properties.
Yes.
Okay. So now, how do you split it? How much of it do you sell in the off plan, and how much of it goes into the
We do maximum 50% during
the off-plan.
construction and 50% on handover. That's what we aim for. However, sometimes it can go above 50 depending
Okay.
on the
demand?
on the
and,
demand, and it depending on how comfortable we are to release, and also depending on how many projects we're starting.
Yes.
But we are not a developer that does lots of projects, let's say.
Okay.
So we do, let's say, 3 to 4 projects maximum.
At the
We
at the
make
same
sure,
time.
yeah, at the same time, we make sure we are comfortable enough to finish on time, and we make sure we deliver the consistency of the quality that we have promised people. then we start new projects. So it's run in a very relaxed, let's say, comfortable
Okay.
speed, where it gives us more comfort and guarantees that we finish on
It
time.
gives you more confidence that you
Yeah.
can deliver earlier and things like that.
Yes, yes, and we have been for the last 6 projects. We've always delivered before the date. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I'm glad that you mentioned about you're not like you don't work like the other developers. A lot of them sell out like the whole, almost the whole, some of them even on the launch days, especially
Yes,
some
yes,
of the tier one developers, if you look at. So, from a buyer perspective, uh, you know, a tier one developer versus, like when I say tier one, the ones who has a huge branding
Yeah.
here, you see their boards on Sheikh Zayed Road everywhere, those kind of developers versus a little bit more on the mid scale, and where you are focused more on functionality, you're focused more on your user perspective. That's what I understood from your project. So how do you choose as a buyer? How do I choose what kind, and where is the difference coming? Is it in the quality of the work, or is it in some other areas, or is it, like you said, in appreciation? Where is that difference actually happening?
Uh, I would say the first thing is the location. We always focus on the location in every area we develop. We make sure it's a location that's more beneficial for the client than us. Just to give you an example, we always get offered, let's say, in an area where we invest in plots on the main road,
Okay.
where it's more marketing and advertising better for us, where our signs will be everywhere. Easier to sell because people will be able to see and visualize the building coming up, and the units are coming up to a stage which is ready to move in and for sale. But we rather go for areas where it's more quiet, park, not very busy, like not
More
very
comfortable
more
for
comfortable.
the users.
Yes, yes.
Right?
So location is important. Number two, early delivery, where you get the people to start earning their rent early or move in early. And for the quality, we very much involved in the quality. We have 3 founders in TownX Real Estate Development, and all 3 of us, we very much involved in the quality. So
Nice.
from the construction to
The delivery. And
delivery to
everything.
the snagging to the handover, in every stage of it. Yes. Yes.
Amazing. Since you mentioned the snagging, right? Maybe as a buyer, a lot of them don't know the technical details in the face of snagging, and you also touched upon the DLP period. So maybe from a buyer perspective, what are these terms, or what should they look in terms of snagging and at the handover? Like, what are things?
I have seen a lot of people, they come and see the condition of the unit, let's say roughly from the inside of the unit, and some of them, they come with a company who is a
Like a
snagging
snagging
specialist,
company, yes.
and they do it on their behalf, and they have to make sure they find some faults in order to
That's
justify
their
and-
role.
Yes, that's their role. But in general, we have not seen too many people come with companies, let's say, for snagging. They come and see the unit, and they, when they get their property early, when they come and they see a professional, let's say, organized appointments for them to come forward, and everything has been honored from the first
From
day
that.
that the deal was offered to them, then they're not very much into the snagging. But
Okay.
if they come angry and they had their properties delayed, and they have not seen a good experience with the developer, then of course they will come and find you many faults. But
Yes.
in general, we've been really lucky, and our snagging team, they work on a bonus structure.
Okay.
So if you make sure that
So in your construction itself, you have a separate snagging team in house,
yes,
like that.
yes.
So even before the buyer does their snagging, they have completed the snagging and identified. Is it
Yes,
something like
we do the snagging on behalf of the buyer
that? Okay.
to make sure it's in perfect condition from the contractor, and then we do the handover to us, and then we invite the client, and we make sure the unit is clean, it's ready, D was on,
Yes.
and when the client comes, our aim is for him to make sure he does not find any faults.
Amazing.
That's when we call it
Nice. And you mentioned about the DLP period and you get your final amounts only at the end of the DLP, right? But maybe as a buyer, I'm not aware. What are my rights during this period? What are things I can come back to the developer for during that 1 year period?
We actually make it very clear to the buyers what's their rights and what they need to look for in the DLP period, which is, of course, if you have any issues with the lighting, with water heaters, with the AC, any cracks that may occur during the time you stay in there, any let's say loose door handles or any loose um, cupboards or
Yes.
hinges or anything like that. Everything is
So you
covered
have like a
completely.
list
Yeah, we have.
which you give to the
Yes,
buyer,
yes,
and these are things they can look for.
everything is covered apart from wear and tear, of course,
Okay.
and accidents that may occur in the apartment. And to be honest, sometimes even after the DLP period,
Okay.
we still honor our
That's your client service
Yeah.
that you manage.
yeah
Okay.
yeah. Sometimes if 1 year is over and they call us for, let's say, some issues, and we still honor it and help people out. Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, also, you mentioned about all your previous projects you have delivered on time or even much earlier. So, what's the strategy behind it? How can you actually achieve that as an early milestone, or how is that happening actually?
You wake up very early in the morning and you make sure you're at work and you
Yes.
make sure your staff are following the policies you have set for them, and you make
Nice.
sure you look after your staff and they have been traveling to work on a nice bus and they have a good accommodation. They will finish it
take
for
care
you.
of them.
Yes, we take care of our staff really well,
Nice.
and we very much involved in the process itself. And we use, let's say, the professional consultants, professional
Nice.
architects, and
Who help you with the supervision of the
yes,
projects?
yes.
Okay.
So and like I said, we work from the site. We don't work from the beach.
Okay, so
Yes.
you are always involved at
Yes.
every stage as a founder or as the executive
Yes.
director. You are always with your team. You know what the problems and you can foresee what might be coming.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned, and I was reading your A Day in Your Life, one of the articles that was on Construction Week, I believe.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed was you were mentioning you actually coach your sales team. You sit with them and,
Correct.
and it's most of the days you do the same, right?
Correct. Yes. I always tell my team that think of yourself as a buyer and what your thoughts would be and what your questions would be. And let's say how nervous you will be from buying a property and getting to know this developer, and you put in your life savings into this property.
Yes.
So you need to give them the comfort and just be honest. Be honest and be straight forward about everything you know about TownX, and tell the truth.
Yes.
And you will see that deal will be closed. So I give them regular coaches, and I spend a lot of time with them,
With the
and
sales
just
team.
tell them be yourself. Be yourself
Nice.
and be honest, and whatever you see
Don't
about.
be a salesperson, but be a
Yes.
friend who
Yeah,
will
yeah.
actually recommend the right ones to them.
Because
kind
people
of.
will only buy, in my belief, people will only buy from people who they like.
Yes.
And if they like you, they'll buy from you. If they see you're honest, you've been straightforward,
Nice.
you've followed up, you answering their calls, and you've told them everything they need to know about the property, then there is no doubt why they shouldn't buy from you.
So honesty is your best sales strategy.
I think that's my main focus in everything in the company. That just be honest and be straightforward and make sure you're there on time.
And since you're more involved on this operations side of your business, from a business owner perspective, how do you, like, you are an honest person, but how do you bring the people into your team who are also sharing that value of honesty? How do you make sure to hire the right team for your business? Like,
If people see the leadership of the company that is following the policy of the honesty, I think then they will have more encouraged to follow. Just to give you an example, we live in a beautiful country where the honesty has gone as far as a Talabat,
Yes.
driver finds
Yes.
a bag with 1 million dirhams,
And they
and he will
returns it.
take it to the police station and deliver it to the police station. And it's very rare to find so many honest people in this country. In many other places I've been around the world,
Yes.
and this is because of leadership and the way the country has been managed, and the country is being led through an honest and peaceful environment.
I think
So
that
that
environment
leads.
is already here
Yes.
to build it, right?
Yes, yes.
And I think you have also worked in UK before, right? And
Yes.
here. So what are the differences you see in terms of working culture or even real estate as a whole in UAE versus UK? How was that differences?
I would say UK was a developed country where there was not much room for us to do any development whatsoever. So
Okay.
we were mainly doing, let's say, renovations or conversions from heritage buildings where we can increase the GFA
Yes.
as much as we can, and to
More of
increase
renovation kind of projects?
more
and
of renovation. It's on a big scale, but in UAE you have more empty land, so then you can do
the scope of growth.
yes, you can do. You have much more chance to reach your dream, because every architect dream was to design a building that they never had the chance
Yes.
unless they came to UAE and they did their designs. That's why we see these beautiful buildings
Yes.
all over the country. But for us, it was a dream to start, let's say, building and doing construction. And
Okay.
we were limited in UK, and the rules and regulations are very tough. Then you have taxes and so on and so forth.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
restrictions that you had in growth.
Lots of restrictions, lots of competition. But here it was more relaxed, and there's more land to develop and more demand.
Nice.
More
Was
demand.
it your first business here in UAE, or did you go into any other business
No,
before
I
you
was-
started being a developer here in UAE?
I was mainly doing management first, so
Nice.
got to learn all the issues after development. So
Okay.
when the property is delivered,
So you were
uh,
on the facilities management
I
side?
was on the facilities
Okay.
management and property management side.
Nice.
And during that time, then I went into joint ventures with a developer, and we did a couple of projects with a couple of known developers in town. And then in 2019, I joined with TownX, and
Nice.
we started our journey with the other two founders of TownX, and
So TownX was launched in 2019, or I think
2017. It was
2017.
2017, and I joined in 2019.
How many apartments, how many units delivered so far right now?
We have done over 1,200, over
Okay,
1,200,
nice.
but we have just over 2,000 in the pipeline.
Oh,
So we
that's
have two
That's
ongoing
kind
projects.
of almost double of what you have already delivered.
Absolutely,
kind of,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely. And we're looking at doubling.
Furthermore,
Yeah, furthermore. yeah.
furthermore. So, at what point, as a developer, do you decide how much to develop more or how much to invest more? What's the safety net you keep? How do you come up with those?
It's all about the funding. It's all about the demand, and it's all about, let's say, the construction team that you have. But there's so many challenges in this business. I mean, sometimes our challenge is finding a plot. Our challenge is finding, contractors, or let's say a staff for the construction team. Finding a staff accommodation.
Yes.
There is so many challenges, but at the moment, I think the biggest challenge we're facing is finding the right location and the right plot, because they
Okay.
have been.
Is it
taken
because
out.
it's getting saturated already? Is it something like that?
Yes. There's too many people moving to the country. The country
Yes.
is expanding.
So the
Population
availability
is
of
getting big.
residential land has become lesser, which actually means the properties could appreciate much bigger than what is happening right now.
There is a gap. There is a gap for slightly more appreciation, but I don't support a big appreciation. I
Okay.
think if it goes up too high, then it will
It will come.
will come down.
You believe
Yeah.
that's a
we
wave
we
that
believe in
happens.
consistency. We believe in steady, healthy growth.
Yes. So
Yeah.
it's like a controlled growth you have. You study
Exactly.
the market and then you grow
Exactly.
according to that. Now, I just want to take our audience a little bit on the construction stages as well, more on the overall, right? So, what's the process like as a developer? Maybe first might be acquiring the plot. What happens? What are the different stages that happens behind the scenes?
After inquiring the plot, then of course you do your design based on the DSR
Okay.
that you have been given. because the GFA, it's normally provided, and
The design comes from an architect externally, or is it an internal team that
we have
does?
an external team that they do our design and consultant, and then we have internal, let's say, junior team that
That
follows up
supports
and
the
takes the process along with them. And then after that's done, then our challenge is also getting the approvals through the authorities.
yes.
Um, for example, RTA today is a challenge for us because
Okay.
of the traffic that's been going
Yes.
on.
So you need the traffic impact study for each of the
Exactly,
projects.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. Then utilities as well. So then after we get the approval done, then we get the building permit and we
Okay.
start the construction.
Okay.
And like I mentioned, after 20% we launch, and then every 3 months we have a construction update from the government.
Okay.
DLD, they send us an engineer to do construction update to update the Dubai RES application
Okay.
in order for our investors to have comfort zone and see the progress.
Yes.
And we actually keep our investors informed on a monthly basis
On the
of our construction
reporting.
update.
Okay.
So we tell them at what stage we're at and where we're at and what we have done. So
Okay.
then they know, how quickly their property is getting built, and when they send the money, they have enough confidence that they send in it for
Send it in the right way.
yes.
So something what we as a coast management, coast consulting company, we work with a lot of investors and developers with their coast consulting, right? So when we say the construction project stage, there's the initial concept stage, then it goes to the design, schematic design, then you go into the detailed design. A lot of times what happens is we get involved mostly at the detailed design stage when they're ready to tender out the project. They want us to help them with the cost estimate and the bill of quantities, right? So, but what happens is probably because there was no cost expert is involved in the earlier stages, a lot of times when the actual cost is coming out, probably it's beyond what they had expected, right? So has this ever happened to you, or how do you make sure you are in line with that?
You know, in this game, experience really
Yes.
plays a big role. So we have had quite a lot of experience between myself and the other two founders of TownX, and we are very precautious. So we always keep a safety gap
Okay.
for our costing.
Okay, like a percentage of contingency on it.
Absolutely, and we don't tend to have too many changes in our designs, too many
Okay.
changes in our, let's say, choices of material shopping. So we go for as much as safety as possible from what we have chosen from the beginning,
Okay.
and sometimes we purchase a material in advance and
Okay.
store them in the warehouse just in case at a later stage
Okay.
prices go higher, or just in case let's say we have shipping issues.
Yes.
We have had a couple of issues in the past where we, let's say, thought in our mind that we're going to use Siemens appliances, and then right at the end there was a shortage in the market and we couldn't get the appliances.
Okay.
So
So
then
you had to
we've
change the brand at the
so we
last
had to
minute.
change the brand at the last minute. So now we thought we would rather buy the appliances sometime before. We order, for example, the windows sometime before,
Okay.
and then when it comes to the day of execution, that it's already there, ready for us. So there are many stages where we can take precautions, and we have been lucky.
Okay.
But we also don't promise at a certain, let's say, product
Okay.
anymore. We say, for example, Siemens all relevant. Relevant
Okay.
could be something better, or could
Something
be
in
something
the
on the same
similar
level,
range
but
at
not,
least, yeah.
yeah, not below. But in general, you just need to find, let's say, reliable factories, reliable suppliers,
Yes.
and we always tend to stay with local suppliers
So
because
that you don't have the logistics time
yes,
and
yes, yes, yes.
like that. So you work with the local suppliers.
We
like that.
local suppliers, but branded local suppliers.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
and also to support the economy for
Yes.
the money to stay
Okay.
in
Nice.
the country, to support the system. We believe in that.
That's
Yeah.
nice. Now, mentioning about, you mentioned you have your in-house contracting team, right? So, have you seen there's an advantage that gives you an extra edge over other developers when you have your own team? How
For
has
sure,
that been?
for sure. When we first started, we did not have our own team, and there was so many challenges.
Okay.
And then we've realized that to stick to the guidelines and to deliver on time and to uh, have everything run the way we want, it has to be in-house.
Okay, so
It
that's
has to
when
be
you
in-house, yeah.
you decided to bring the whole team in house and
Exactly,
create the
exactly,
construction team
exactly.
in house.
You can control your quality control. You can control the delivery dates. You can have a much better.
So
Yeah.
it gives you that leverage in that way. Now I'll come to the sales strategy. You have already overseen 1.5 billion in sales for your whole team, right? So how is that happening? Like, I know we touched upon the honesty, but there's a sales process, right? Like, what are the steps, or how do you actually help your team with that? Yeah.
We first give them training when we have the soft launch
Okay.
on the product, and we educate them quite well, not just about our product, but about other product around us or around the area.
Your competitors and other.
Exactly, exactly. And they need to study the area well. They need to study what is the future plan for the area. What is why should I invest there? Why should I
Yes.
buy there as a buyer?
Yes.
Give me some selling, let's say, bullet points. What are the main pillars of this investment to be done in terms of renting, living there,
Yes.
you moving in as a family, as a bachelor, and then we send them out to agencies. They do briefing,
Yes.
and we do a show apartment in each project. So even if the project is under construction, but we still manage to get one show apartment as soon as we pass a certain level, and people come to the construction site and feel like they actually part of this project already by seeing the physical unit. After that, I mean, there is no doubt. Our data shows us roughly 8 out of 10 visits is a deal when it
Wow.
comes to the show apartment. So
It's
as
like
long as you
80% conversion on your
80%
visits.
conversion when they visit the show apartment.
Okay,
So
from the people who's visited. Yes.
exactly. So once you put a deal so transparent to a buyer, then they will go for it because you've given them a good location, you've given them a good product.
There's no
You've
reason to say no.
There's no reason to say no. It's a reliable developer who has done several projects in the past. No issues, no delays. Comments on Google review are very
Yeah.
positive. You don't. There is no
Yes.
reason why they should back out. Yeah.
And from the marketing perspective, so there are developers who invest hugely into marketing. So how do you stand out with them, like in terms of marketing? Because now we see a lot of developers that put celebrities and branding it into.
Yes.
So how do you stand out in that market?
We always believe in the rule of thumb, which is old as gold. Our marketing is our quality, our
Okay.
product, our delivery, transparency, honesty, and the history and the credibility of the company. This is
Yes.
our marketing. I call that organic marketing.
Yes.
However, of course, we still need to, do some marketing.
Yes.
But we don't tend to forget about our quality and spend more money on marketing,
Okay.
or have my name and picture and company
Yeah.
all over Sheikh Zayed Road, but
Yeah.
I'm not delivering on time,
Yes.
or I'm not giving the right quality. Um, I give you a quick example. Like we have a brochure when the project was launched that we've just delivered recently, Luma Parkview, and there was a photo. I was looking at the brochure, and it's the shadow of a spotlight.
Okay.
And when I was sat in the lobby when the project is finished, the consultant was showing me that even the shadow of the spotlight matches the brochure.
Wow.
So this is reality. That's
Okay.
that's when you
That's
tell
the kind
somebody
of renders you
everything
produce are
I've
like.
given you, everything I've shown you, it was a dream to start with, but now
Yes.
you are living physically in the dream, not
Okay. So you
living
don't
in the
blow
dream
up.
for the rest of your life
Yeah.
and you never physically see the product.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So I think this is our way of marketing, and that's what we want to stick with.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And so, see, they know it once they come to you. But how do you initially attract the buyers? That lead generation part. How does that happen?
That happens through agencies, because today a honest agency has people who really rely on him and they
Okay.
really trust him because he's
Yes.
been very transparent and honest in the past, and he's dealt with these buyers and he's made them money. So these are mostly my buyers, people
Okay.
who care for their clients,
Nice.
people who truly want to give the right product and advice and impress their clients and want them to come back.
Okay.
So they more my
So your
buyers. Yeah,
main real estate agents are the ones because they might have people who's coming back to them and buying. So they
100%.
recommend yours as one of the top.
Yes. So the
Okay.
best sellers for us are the agencies which are not known in the market very much, and it's maximum a team of 3 to 4 people.
But they are like closely associated with their clients and working together
Exactly,
kind of
exactly,
people.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's more like the boutique agencies, but they have that
They have a lot of, let's say, strong buyers,
trusted
trusted
people.
sources. We deal with a lot with the finance managers who manage, let's say, money for people,
Yes.
and they end up bringing business to us because they say we really believe in your product, we believe in your
Nice.
speed of construction and the quality. So they advise their buyers, for example, sometimes to divert their investments and come into the real estate, into properties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as a buyer, when I approach a property, what's the difference when I approach through a real estate agent versus directly with the developer? You have both the teams, right? In-house
We have
sales
both
and
in-house. I mean, price-wise, it's going to make no difference whatsoever because
Okay.
we never give any better prices
yes,
if you come directly to us
Okay.
or if you go through the agency.
it's always the same.
Exactly the same price, same discounts. Possibly if you get a not experienced, let's say, agent,
Oh,
and he's very busy on that day and he didn't answer your call or didn't
Yeah.
give you enough time, then maybe it's better to come through our
Okay.
team because our team will be, let's say, more experienced and they will spend more time with you
Nice.
because we have our KPIs on them.
okay.
That's the only. But in general, we rely 99% on
On the
agencies.
agents.
Yes, and I
Agencies.
support.
That's your strong,
That's more,
strong
yeah,
pillars that
strong
brings
pillars and
sales to you.
yes, yes.
Okay. And now that you mentioned about all the trust and the quality, how your clients are coming to you. Now, as a sales objection, what have you seen the like highest sales objection or the percentage that doesn't buy from you? What's that objection usually?
Objection is only if he comes without his wife. So if the husband comes and the wife
Okay.
doesn't come, then it's an objection.
Okay.
And I tell them,
I have to
listen,
check with my wife and
just
come
make
back.
sure he brings his wife and she will buy because we provide so much wardrobes
Okay.
in our apartments.
lot of storage space.
Lots
and-
of storage places. So when the wife comes, my shoes and bags.
Then it's a deal.
There's plenty of place for my shoes and bags, and it's a deal.
Okay. So you built more for families?
We
Like
build
that?
more for families in certain projects and for bachelors in other projects. So we
Okay.
have two different varieties. But in general, honestly, like people who don't buy, it's there has to be a reason of, let's say, for example, the facade of the building. Some people they're more into facade
Okay.
than the actual design.
Okay, they
because
this
we-
outside view. kind
Yeah,
of.
we
Okay.
tend to spend more attention to the actual quality and the inside.
Okay.
Or sometimes I have reason of saying, oh, I don't know TownX, for example,
Okay.
or something
Okay.
which is not experienced buyer, but for an experienced person, will immediately buy them. And
They'll buy
most of our buyers, it's interesting to know that they come from the property background of, let's say, construction,
Okay.
architects, interior designers, or agents.
Because they are the ones who has eye for the quality.
Exactly. And they can immediately see that quality and the size and the layouts.
Okay.
Then they will take it.
They will definitely
Yeah.
take it. Okay, that's great. Now, another point which you were saying was the facade,
Mm.
or Dubai is a place known for iconic buildings, right? There's a lot of hype around
Yes.
that, the way you look around. So, and I think since you already mentioned, you're more on the functionality
Yes.
and inside.
Mm.
So, do you feel like in the overall marketing, when you see the overall real estate industry, there's a lot of fantasy elements that gets marketed?
Yeah, I mean, some people are into modern looking buildings and tall high rise and all sorts, but we're more into the classical side
Okay.
of construction. And we tend to concentrate more on the quality from the inside. And
Okay.
yes, you have to make a nice building.
Yes.
I must admit, you cannot be in the middle of an area where there are beautiful buildings and your building does not stand
Yeah.
out. But I would rather spend more onto the quality inside.
Okay.
Like I'll give you an example. If you look at DIFC, there are possibly the most beautiful buildings in that region. And up till today, one of my favorite buildings there, it's Index Tower.
Okay.
An Index Tower is actually a classic design.
Yes.
I actually view this tower from my office pretty much every day. We very close by our main office. And until today, I think it's one of the most
It's one of
beautiful
the
buildings.
beautiful ones
But there are many other buildings that are
that's
come
come up
up,
after that. Yeah.
but it's old, but it's beautiful until today. Yeah,
That's
it's a
nice.
classic
Nice.
looking building.
And even another, just like the outside look, there's a lot of amenities,
Mm.
right? That we, in the marketing terms, we say. Which one of that do you think is the most overhyped one, which is not really a requirement? Is there anything that you see in the market?
I've seen so many stuff, and honestly, like when I look at it, and I'm like, who's gonna use them?
Yeah.
Like who's gonna be in an outdoor cinema when there's
Yes.
50 degrees
Yeah.
heat, or there are so many
Overhyped.
overhyped. I think the priority is just to stick to what you really are going to use,
Yes.
and that's more than enough.
That's
Yeah.
that's mainly giving all the basic requirements for a comfortable living.
Yes.
That's what you believe in. Okay.
Exactly.
Now coming to the developers, right? A lot of times what happens is there's a lot of like even now we mentioned about the highly branded and or all those which sells out on the first day. There are people who say that we know their quality is less, but we're just buying it for investment and flipping kind of, So what's your perspective on that? Like people just buy it, and it's just sold out very fast.
There are too many buyers in this
Yes.
market. From the beginning, we have a policy in our SPA where it's 100% resale value.
Okay.
So you cannot resell unit unless you pay 100%.
Yes.
So that takes away all the, let's say, what they call in the market the flippers. The
Yes,
people who
yes.
buy to flip. We like to work with long-term investors. We like to work with
Mostly
end
the end
users,
users.
or people who have bought for an investment purpose, or people who have enough money to pay for it at any time. Then resell
Okay.
it, no problem.
Okay. Okay.
Your policy in the company can actually sometimes decide on these buyers, but
Okay.
we don't support on these buyers where they just buy to see numbers. No, we want
Okay.
people to appreciate what they bought and be proud of investing with TownX.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the Dubai market, a lot of times something which I hear every day is Dubai is in a bubble, it's got a break, or what do you think from a developer perspective? What's the safety net we have there?
I think I have been hearing this since 2002, as long as I've been here, and there is no such a thing as a bubble, because it's a huge difference from where it was to where it is today. And today it's a financial hub. It's a developed city, and it's an amazing city. And I think that bubble and break it's now behind, because the system it's in a different stage today. Yeah. So I think long term there is no bubble, there is no break. Yes, there can be correction
Okay.
to the prices within a certain percentage to move up and down, and this has been happening in every country.
Yes.
Every country I've been to, or let's say where I used to live in a developed country in UK, we've had times where prices move up and down,
Okay.
but not to break. No.
Okay. Now, when we look at the European market like Germany, or the reason I mentioned Germany was one of our friend from Germany had come and he was looking at investing here, and then because he doesn't live here, for him it was just an investment property he was looking at, and one thing he was saying was that I don't still get the confidence here because he's an investor in Germany, and he's like, there I know it's a very old real estate market, right? The policies, everything is very clear. It's been there for years. But when it comes to Dubai, it's much more of a younger market, right? They haven't seen the whole life cycles of most of the buildings. So that cultural difference, especially for those investors coming from some other country and coming and buying here, what's your overall perspective on that?
I can tell you very simple. When I am employing, let's say, a staff, do I employ a 60-year-old or do I employ a 20-year-old?
Yeah.
So that's a very simple answer to him.
Okay.
That's a very lazy mentality, shall I call it?
Yes.
We're more into young energy. We're more into excitements. There is so much going on in this country that I think Germany would wish to be in that position.
Okay.
I've actually lived in Germany for
Yeah,
some time,
that's nice.
and I've seen the city. It's just after 6 o'clock is dead.
Yeah, I
There is
know.
no one,
Dubai
no
is
one
a
on the
different,
roads.
completely different culture,
Yeah,
right?
so he's probably shocked
Yeah,
to see a
probably.
city that's lighting
Yes.
up 24
Yes.
hours a day. And yeah, I mean, everyone has different thoughts. Everyone
Yes.
has different experience. Maybe when I first moved here, it
I
was a
think it's
little bit of a
initial
shock
cultural shock.
to me, but within time, I realized that I was actually possibly not in a right city to grow my career, and that's why I moved over.
Okay.
Yeah, so then I came here, and my career started from here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, from the again back to the construction perspective, there might be a lot of supply chain contractors who might want to work with you as a developer, right? So now, from that procurement perspective, how do they approach you? Like, how do you select your new supply chain or new contractors on board?
We look at track record, we look at the reliability, we look at which project they have done, we look at their deliveries, are they on time? We look at the reliability of
Previous
the
projects.
suppliers. Yeah, we look at the warranty and liabilities, and we make our decisions based on
Based
those.
on those,
Yes,
it's
yes.
more of their previous projects and
Yes.
the pre-qualification element that's most weightage that you give in yours.
Correct.
Right?
I mean, simple example, we appointed a company to do security for our building. Something
Okay.
very simple, security. And I looked at everything, and everything was going through extremely well. But then I realized that security travel 2 hours a day to reach the site, and 2 hours a
Okay.
day back to their site because they live in Ajman,
Okay.
and they have to go through this whole traffic.
Yeah.
And I rejected for us to work with them because of that reason. I said, look, the staff is going to come to work
Okay.
extremely
Tired
tired,
already.
and that's not going to help me by having people, energetic
Yes,
and ready
yes.
for work. I want a company that has local
Yes.
local accommodation for their staff, so then they don't spend 2 hours on a day there and back.
Okay. Okay.
So we go into details,
Nice,
like
nice.
in order for us to make sure that we're going to get the right services that we expect.
That's
Yeah.
that. I think that made you clear. It's more about the quality and not and how it aligns with your
Yeah.
project, with your requirements, right? And probably because you have come from the facilities management and property management, you know about the maintenance period as well
Correct,
that way.
correct.
Okay. Now, as thanks for being very honest and giving us all the feedback. Now, as a final question, like there's a lot of real estate agents who convert into developers at some point in time, right? They start as an agency, then they become developers. So people who want to start and become a developer here, what's your best advice? Now you have been in the market for some time.
My best advice is you really need to study and do your homework before you make that decision, because there's about approximately 50-year experience between three founders
Yeah.
of TownX,
Yes.
and we started a company from scratch, and it was a struggle for the first 5 years, and then we managed to get this company up and running. So it is not as easy to start unless you really have a good experience, you have funding,
Okay.
and you know your market very well, and you have got a very strong pipeline to sell, because selling
Okay, yes.
is the main drive of the
Yes.
company. So unless you have those, then don't take the risk. But if you do, then please do
Then
take
go
the
ahead.
risk. It's a lovely journey. It's I think competition is healthy.
Yes.
So the more developers I see in town, the more it excites me, because it shows
It shows
now
the
there's
market
going
is
to be
still good.
market
right?
is still good.
Yeah.
There's a different variety, different products, different materials are going to come into the market.
Nice.
But we will see a lot of corrections in the market, I think, in the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay, and the
Yes.
good ones will survive the
Good ones will
changes.
survive, and of course the big fives will
Yes.
stick around, but the big ones will survive. Experience will survive, but there will be quite a few developers. I don't think they will be able to sustain. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you so much for this honest conversation today, and I'm so happy to have you there.
pleasure.
Now, anybody watching, if they want to connect with you, what's the best way to connect with you?
Best person to ask will be our marketing manager.
Okay.
She will be the one who's connecting.
Okay, so probably
Myself, honestly,
we will leave your marketing team's
yes,
contact
yes,
details
yes,
in
yes,
our link below, so
yes,
that if
please.
you need anything from them, please
Yeah,
do get
yeah.
in touch with them. Thank you so much,
Thank
and
you.
do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Until next time.